Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. If you're focused on improving your life, leveling up your skills, or honestly, if you just love a genuinely incredible story of transformation, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're diving into the sheer, undeniable power of daily habits. We're going to explore how small, seemingly totally insignificant choices actually compound over time to create extraordinary results. And we're doing it by looking at a completely fascinating real-life story. So, picture this. Imagine cleaning the exact same building every single day, only to actually own that very same building down the road. Sounds completely impossible, right? Well, this is the story of Michael. He's a guy who proved that small, almost invisible daily actions can literally change the entire trajectory of a human life. Okay, let's jump right in. Chapter 1, The Invisible Janitor. So, the year is 1998, New York City. It's 4:30 in the morning. While most of the city is still fast asleep, Michael was already up and moving. Every single day, he walked through those freezing cold Manhattan streets, carrying his mop, his bucket, and this dream he couldn't really explain to anyone yet. He wasn't rich, he wasn't highly educated, and honestly, nobody expected anything extraordinary from him. To the rest of the world, he was just another invisible janitor, just putting his head down and doing his job. But here's the thing, Michael actually had a front row seat to a completely different reality. See, every day, he cleaned the offices of these highly successful people. We're talking millionaires, business owners, investors, CEOs. And as he emptied their trash and mopped their floors, he just watched them. They seemed so confident, so focused, so purposeful. And a question started burning in his mind. What makes them different from me? The more he observed them day in and day out, the more he realized a truly surprising truth. They weren't actually smarter than him. They just had different habits. They had different ways of thinking, and critically, entirely different daily actions. Which brings us right to Chapter 2, The Secret on a Note. This is the true inciting incident of Michael's journey. One evening, just doing his usual routine in an executive office, Michael spots this crumpled up sticky note tossed inside a trash can. He reaches in, unfolds it, and reads, "Your future is created by what you do every day, not once in a while." Now, for most people, this is just meaningless corporate clutter. You just throw it out, right? But for Michael, it felt like a direct, life-changing message. It was exactly what he desperately needed to hear at that exact second. He folded that little sticky note up, slipped it into his pocket, completely unaware that this tiny piece of paper was about to change his life forever. Moving right along to Chapter 3, The 1% Promise. Later that night, Michael is sitting all alone in his tiny, cramped apartment. He pulls the note out of his pocket, looks at it, and makes a really simple promise to himself. He promises to become just 1% better every single day. That's it. Nothing crazy, just 1%. Now, let's be clear. The next morning, no magic wands were waved. Michael woke up, and yep, he was still a janitor. But a quiet transformation had absolutely begun. He started taking really specific, manageable actions. He read 10 pages of a book every day. He exercised for just 20 minutes. He deliberately stopped wasting the little money he had. And he actively began learning, soaking up knowledge about investing, business, and the sheer mechanics of discipline. And that kicks off Chapter 4, The Years of Silence. This right here is the grind. It's that crucial middle phase of any success story that everyone totally ignores. The phase where progress is completely, utterly invisible. Days turned into weeks, weeks bled into months, and months stretched into long years. And from the outside looking in, nothing had changed. His friends actually laughed at him. They'd say, "Why are you working so hard? You're still just a janitor. You're wasting your time." Some even told him to just pack it in and give up. But Michael didn't argue. He just smiled. Now, what's really interesting here is the profound psychological shift happening behind the scenes. Michael understood a fundamental rule. Success is invisible long before it ever becomes visible. While everyone else was out chasing cheap entertainment, he was quietly building his skills. While others were spending every dime they made, Michael was investing his. And while others were sitting around just waiting for motivation to miraculously strike, Michael relied purely on discipline. Slowly, silently, his life began to pivot. Let's fast forward a bit to Chapter 5, The Compound Effect. This is the snowball effect in full action, you guys. 5 years later, Michael's powerful, unshakable habits were locked in. His mindset? Completely transformed. 10 years later, boom, he buys his very first property. Then he buys another one, and then another, as his investments and opportunities just exponentially expanded. To anyone who wasn't paying attention, he looked like a classic overnight success. But we know better, right? It was actually the result of thousands of ordinary, completely unnoticed days. Days nobody applauded. Days that quietly, relentlessly built his entire future. Which brings us full circle to Chapter 6, The Hidden Future. So it's now 15 years after he fished that crumpled note out of the trash. A man steps out of a luxury black car. He's wearing this incredibly sharp, tailored suit. He's confident, he's calm, and he is highly, highly successful. It's Michael. He walks toward a building that looks pretty familiar. It's the exact same building where he used to mop the floors in the dead of night. The same place where people used to walk right past him like he didn't even exist. Only this time, the whole shebang is different. He's not walking in as a janitor. He's walking in as the owner. As he walks through the lobby, a young employee actually comes up to him and asks, "Mr. Michael, what's the secret to your success?" Michael just smiles. He points over to a nearby trash can, a little nod to where it all started, and he says, "The difference between who you are today and who you become tomorrow is hidden inside the small things you do every day that nobody notices." So, what does this all mean for us? Well, motivation is great, but it's just a feeling. It comes and goes. It does not build your future. Habits, though, those tiny, small actions repeated consistently day in and day out, that is the actual architecture of your future. Relying on habits and pure discipline over the long haul will literally always trump waiting around for some fleeting burst of motivation. Which leaves us with this incredibly powerful final thought to wrap up our explainer today. We all tend to drastically overestimate what we can pull off in a single month, but we massively underestimate what we can achieve in 10 years. Repeating small actions day after day, year after year, that's how the life you merely dream about eventually becomes the actual life you live. So I'll leave you with this. What small thing are you going to do today that no one will even notice? Think about it. Thanks for learning with me today, and I will catch you in the next one.